doing it live.
Now we are live. Hello there, internet land.
Hello.
Hello. And
Hello.
for those who have not seen me yet, I'm Dani Cutler with KWSS, and you're probably watching this off of a Facebook page, so there's your hint. And I'm doing this fantastic interview with the greatest 80s band you've never heard of, Basic Elements. I have John, Bill, and Jonathan here from the band. Hello, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank
Hello.
you for being here today. You guys are not even together, but you are. It's great. I love Zoom.
Yeah, me too. This is
This works.
It's fantastic. It's
It is.
fantastic. So, Basic Elements, we have to thank Lynette Carrington for introducing KWSS to the band. I hate to say it, being an 80s girl that grew up in Phoenix, I didn't know about you.
We were from the wrong side of the track.
This is full circle
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I think the
This is great.
problem is we were playing bars when we were 16, and you probably weren't in bars.
That's
then.
true. You
That's
guys,
true.
I mean, not to stereotype and try and guess your ages from looking at you, but we all seem to be about the same age. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Back
half
then-
a century. Half a century.
Half a
yeah,
century.
right around that mark there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely could not have seen you in bars at 16. That's
Not
for
at the
sure.
Metro or Impulse
Right.
or the Jar.
Exactly. Exactly. Actually, it was funny because now you're bringing up a memory about after the gold rush.
Yeah.
And how I would go before I was 21, and they had it sectioned off underage and overage. And I would go with my girlfriend who was 21, and she'd be like, I'm going to get a drink. And then I wouldn't see her the whole night.
We were at Tommy's doing
Yeah.
the dance clubs there. Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
it's funny because you mentioned the sectioned off for the drinkers and the non-drinkers. Like there'd be drinks going over the velvet
Oh,
rope back and forth.
Oh, yeah. But, those
The Wild
that leads to different issues with my girlfriend. So don't worry about that.
That's right. That's right. That's the 80s. Different
oh my
time.
goodness. So yeah, so you guys just started releasing singles again, and you were actually no, you didn't record at all in the 80s, did you?
Well, no, we did record
little
in
bit.
the 80s, but we didn't record these songs. The songs that we
Okay.
recorded with Ed were the songs that we wrote as a band, very first early songs. And then as we started getting better, we recorded our songs that we thought were better, but it ended up our earliest versions are probably the best.
It tapped into the raw, attempts at creativity, before anything else had settled in. So it was the five.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the songs that we recorded really, I think John picked them probably because I think you said that they were our strongest songs that we should have recorded then, but he said, these are the songs that really define us, and let's see what we can do with these.
Got
And
it.
that was the fun part. That was kind of like, let's go
curated-
back to like what we were and what we started as. And I think you were right on with that.
Thanks,
Nice.
man. Yeah, they were there. It was easy to find the ones that didn't work, and then finding, the right amount of the ones that all kind of fit. Yeah, I'm really happy with the choices.
Right on. Well,
And I love the simplicity of these songs because like as we got older as a band, we started to get into King Crimson and Rush, and so we just kind of overdid things. And these songs are so simple that they're pretty special.
yeah, nice. Well, let's back it up a bit and let's talk about how Basic Elements was formed back. So now we're going back in time.
Back in time, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Too. It mostly started because Bill and I were getting our asses kicked because we dressed like Duran Duran and we wore, eyeliner and shopped at the Judy's Gear for Guys. And, we were watching Duran Duran. And I think Bill pointed out too, we were also really into like James Bond and Indiana Jones. And we saw like Hungry Like the Wolf, and it kind of was like all the worlds combined. And we, had our minds blown. So we just decided to try to do that.
Mhm.
And it would lead to not getting picked on as much.
So
and
how did you guys?
I was into the early Echo and the Bunnymen, like the really
Yeah.
Heaven Up Here.
John was more of a mod. You were a
Nice.
mod, dude.
Yeah, I was just kind of, but yeah.
But that was cool because those elements melted together and became, a good
Yeah,
sound.
like John was on his Vespa. Bill and I were like walking over the mountain with our BB guns. John was in our eyeliner, and then John was on his Vespa with his shades. And
I love it. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, you guys are just one big 80s movie.
Yes.
You know what's cool? Like we kind of idolized, yeah.
Unfortunately true.
We kind of idolized our lead singer because he was like from the other side of the tracks, and he was like wearing vintage clothing, and he was just kind of like, we didn't really know him because he was a friend of a friend of a friend, and it was kind of cool to have someone from a different scene come in and be a part of this family.
They weren't leopard pink pants, Dani, but they were close.
So did you all have musical experience prior, or did you just decide, hey, I'm gonna pick up these instruments and start singing and see what happens?
About that.
I was actually writing early. I actually made a guitar when I was 8, and I was writing songs early. So I was, into that, into music, kind of saturated with it young, without my parents playing albums. And we were originally from Detroit. And so there was a lot of music happening. And then we moved to Arizona, but that was my thing. But
cool. How about you, Bill?
Well, I took violin and saxophone and all that stuff as a kid, but I didn't really have any talent until John and I got together, and
still debatable.
Yeah, and
you guys are doing great. Plugging the band, guys. Keep it up.
Hey, you know what? The bottom line is with the whole band is, at this point, if it's not fun, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just too much. It's
I agree.
I think that's maybe why we also we got back into this, and we're like, maybe we got sidetracked before, who knows, but now we're really punching the fun and really getting back to the core of what we were doing before. And I think that changes everything, that gives it just a whole different aesthetic.
But it's weird because like we burned out at like 18 because we were banned from like 14, and then like that's like the normal length of a band, and then all of a sudden we're retiring before we even hit our prime.
My brother says. My brother always says, "You guys should have like waited like 4 years and then done it." And I was like, "Oh, we were too young, man." I mean, we had a good
thing, though. I mean, why do most bands form? Because you want to get together and you want to jam and you want to do something and you want to create, or you're just really bored. If you're a teenager, you're just like, let's do this, and see what happens. And boom, what do you know? It like was cool for you guys. It like worked, right? But yeah, I mean, when you're 16 and 14, 16, and then you're suddenly 18, and then it's like, oh, real life kind of decides it wants to take over.
And it did.
That's a good point. Real life is kind of an inconvenience for sure.
Especially when you want to be a famous rock band,
Yeah, it's just difficult. It's difficult.
But that's the thing, though. It's like, think about that at 18 and all the growth, as you were saying, Jonathan, all the growing you do between 18 and what we are now. So I can't even. I look back and I'm just like, no. I mean, half the things I did at 16, 18.
Well, and I think that's why the other reason behind picking these songs, it's the memories associated with them. You know what I mean? By the time, 87, 88, when we were a little bit more developed musically and doing different things, people were into different things, you know what I mean? And the stuff that we wrote in 85, 86 was really reflective of what was being heard at the time coming from elsewhere, you know what I mean? So it's like, it really does sound like 1985, and Ed, completely dialed in on, exploiting that to the nth degree at every opportunity.
Oh, of course. Well, he's been producing a while, so he knows.
Yeah, he knows. I remember when
he really loves that stuff too. He really loves it. It's in him. So and it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I remember the best thing about working with Ed is when his wife Laura came up to us. Like we were at his house, and she's like, "He's having fun." I was like, "Oh, cool!" Like, yeah, he's having a good time with it. So,
wow. So what was the deciding factor? So, a couple decades go by, and what made you want to pull these songs out and actually start recording?
Well, I have to be honest. It was my 50th, so it was sort of fueled by some sort of midlife thing, but it's all my wife's fault, to be honest.
Instead of a
but
sports car, you decided to record music.
We're gonna tour the world.
Yeah, 1000%. It was just like get the band back together instead of buying the car.
I think you spent the same amount of money though.
Yeah, seriously. But honestly, the coolest part about it was I reached out to the guys. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Let me know what you think. And I sent and all of a sudden, got the emails back. Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. Blah, blah, blah. And so I picked the songs. We rehearsed on our own for like a month. And then the moment that you're asking about, was like in March of 2019.
Okay.
And we all got together in Culver City, and we had been practicing on our own, and it was the first time, and we were like, let's see if we can pull this off. So we played Hide, and we did it. And it was like, we played it, and like 3 minutes and 48 seconds later, it was over. And we all kind of looked around, and we were like, whoa, like, so we can do this. Like, if we want to do this, we can, and at that point, we decided to have this reunion show, which we pulled off. And then the opportunity with Ed happened, and we couldn't pass it up.
Mm-mm.
And so when you have those, you can't just drop them and just put them out there. Like, you have to do this exhausting work of trying to, get it out there.
Right.
So thank
Yeah.
you. But anyway, so that's what happened.
That's cool.
And the response with the crowd and everything, it was great. It felt like definitely a reunion, but it also felt like it sounded better than ever. It had a new kind of texture to it, a new sound after we recorded and had that experience in the studio where, we just kind of updated some things, and it was like, okay, wow, this is fresh.
Yeah.
So it was 80s, but it had this other thing to it.
I was going to say, even
This
the
modern
tech
kind of-
has come so far over the decades.
Ah.
So, the quality of recording has, risen quite a bit.
Yeah, and it's made other things a lot easier possible live, where you could kind of,
Right.
interact differently, and so it was good.
Yeah. Where was the reunion show?
The Mint.
Okay. Oh, that's
In
right.
LA.
Okay. I remember reading about that. Okay, cool. And did you get a lot
It's
of
a
old
great thing.
fans from the 80s who knew you in the 80s? Did they come out for it?
Yeah, people drove out from Arizona to this
is
show,
awesome.
and it was like a high school reunion. It was fucking great.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
Packed. It was a
shocking.
mixture, right, of LA, some new people that were interested, a lot of old fans. So it was a mixture of different generations and different crowds, different zip codes, different states. It was cool.
Yeah, it was a great crowd. I was floored by how many people came to see, that they were excited that we were going to play a show. And then the people that
it was sold out. They turned people away, lying around the block. It was amazing.
yeah, and then the people that had that have known me for years that had no idea I was in a band, and so it was this weird collision and then people are like, oh wow, like I think they thought we were just going to play some modern English, and
we're just going to do covers.
do some covers and be done. And then we usually start with Hide, and people were like, oh boy, wait a minute, what the hell was that? And there was this weird familiarity where I think people thought it was like, I think I heard that song before, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. And
it really was a total experiment, because we didn't know how it was going to go, but it really ended up, it was a total experiment. We put ourselves on the line for it, but people showed up, and it was amazing. And it was really for the love of the music, and for the scene, and people just jumped in, and that was a surprise. That really was, and that was just a total honor. So
that's really
Yeah.
cool. That's
this
really
is being
Yeah, so
done
it
with
was-
a
and
lot
then-
of sincerity and trying to like spread that joy, you know what I mean? And so when people pick up on that, it really means a lot. I mean, it's not like we're not expecting to get rich.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we're
Well,
putting this out
and
there to
what's
make
so
people
cool
happy.
though, I think also, John, what you said, like there was a lot of resurgence of elements of the 80s coming back, with a lot of music. And then you're like, wow, well, we were in the 80s, and we can, like we were kind of the first generation of that.
Yeah,
And so
listen to The Weeknd on the Super Bowl, man. I mean, that
Right?
that is
Yeah.
just
there's
straight
so
up-
many elements now,
Yeah.
and that, just that whole kind of thing. So
Well, not even that, but so many of the bands that were big then are putting out new stuff now. I mean, Pixies has new stuff. New Order has new stuff coming out.
Duran has new album coming out.
Yeah, Duran, Midnight Oil. I mean, there's all these bands.
Johnny
that-
Marr is with the Avalanches. I mean, it's
That's
like,
right.
that's pretty crazy. That's like,
Yeah.
Well, you know
all
what's
these
funny?
all these nice kind of collisions and people working together again. It's great.
The funny thing to me too is, we've been in quarantine sort of sketching out ideas, like, see if we can put a new song or two together. And everything that I've been working on, because I haven't played music in 30 years, my skill level is still pretty much around 1985, 1986. So every idea I come up with, it just inherently sounds like it's baked in the 80s because I haven't really grown, which is fine.
You might be saying you're going to be a kid forever. I don't know.
I see. Yeah.
No, that's cool. So I like what you said about Hide, because I got the same feeling when I listened to it for the first time. I was just like, I know this song.
Okay.
How is this not something I've heard before? And that's not, that's a compliment, because, being a child of the 80s, that's, the vibe I go for. It's the same thing if you want to talk about The Weeknd. It's like they have that vibe that just kind of gets you, and you're just like, us older folk are like, oh, what is that?
The whole mood.
My
yeah.
80s
Right.
senses are
But,
tingling.
But that's not something written today. John Dennis wrote that in his bedroom, 40 years ago.
Right.
So
Yeah.
original 80s. Yeah.
Which is also something about the universal element of just really good stuff that comes back around, and we just kind of do it in a cool new collage-esque way, how it's kind of mind-blowing how much there is the synthesis of that kind of analog into digital, back to analog. And that's also a very exciting thing, because everything was kind of, the digital thing was not happening then. So now we've got this whole new array of technology that we can kind of use for this next thing in hopefully our next show in Arizona, which will be a blast.
Yeah.
So
which would be amazing. Before I hit record, we were talking about the fall, and we put some things out into the universe that I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but it's out there. Just put good vibes for the fall. That's it.
Yeah.
Are you talking about
vibes.
Compton Terrace? Is that what you're talking about?
Compton Terrace.
We're bringing back Compton Terrace. Open it
That's
up.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, that would be
Pre-game at Panic City, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man, wow. I love oh my God. It's so crazy, because having grown up in the Valley, and like Jay didn't grow up here, so he doesn't have the same type of 80s memories that I do, and just from being in the Valley. So it's very cool.
Did you ever go to the Sun Club?
So I did.
Yeah, that was like, we played our last run of shows was there.
Yeah. So
which is nice. Yeah.
Very cool. But so wonderful. But now, speaking of a staple in the local area, Zia Records, who, I lived in Zia growing up.
I wore my Zia merch.
Look at you.
Yes.
I've got my Zia bag back there. Wait, see, there it is, right under the. So yeah, plenty of Zia. We love Zia, but I've spent an hour or 2 or 3 browsing Zia Records on University and Mill when it was there.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
you spent more than an hour there. Come on.
Me too.
Yeah. If you spent anything less than an hour there, did you really like music? No. But I have this wonderful single right here that arrived today, just in time for the interview. And your second single, New You, which released right around the new year. This is your cassette. This is what's going out, and it even says Zia Records. Wait, I'm gonna do a total old person thing right now.
Yes, Sonny.
$2.98. What is that? 2 out of 98?
Just $2.98 was the price at the time.
Okay, I was like, how?
Yeah, that's back in the day.
Special edition, like the second one.
You know what's cool about that too is the B side of that is just like a monophonic recording of us playing that song in my parents' garage in 1985.
Oh wow!
And so you could kind of hear like the raw what it is.
Yeah.
And honestly, that song, even after that recording, we continued to play with New You. That's probably like the second time we ever played New You, to be honest. But that's what I gave Ed. That's the only other version of the song we've ever really dealt with.
So if you have a cassette player, you could hear the new version on one side and the old version from our boombox.
Wait, you should add though that each one of those comes with a download card.
Yes, there is a download card in it. I opened it, so I can show everybody. download card right
Yeah.
here. You definitely want to read the liner on the inside because, I mean, it made me cry. I don't know if it's going to make anyone
Oh,
else cry,
yay.
but I got a
Good.
little,
I made a girl cry today.
congratulations.
Oh, John.
So we don't know when these are going to be available at Zia Records yet. They're still working out the last details on it, but they will be available there. And
By
I will
next
be.
week.
It
Yeah,
will
for
be.
sure.
Oh, good. That's really
Should
soon.
be, yeah,
So,
I think so.
but
You should look at our social media to find
yeah,
out all these dates.
all of the social media, which is just Basic Elements, right?
Basic Elements music.
Music.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, because
Awesome. You know, that's a great
Because-
collaboration and a good hat tip to an earlier time. And I was just thinking that I will have to go listen in my daughter's car because I don't have a cassette player.
Nice. You know what?
Perfect.
That's my favorite
That's
place
where you
to
should listen to it. That should
Yeah.
be
I
the
think
place.
so.
No, totally.
Yeah.
That's my favorite place to listen to music is in my
Yeah.
car.
So I'll take some video of me listening in my daughter's car. How about that? Yeah.
Sweet.
Perfect.
So now, okay, you have all these singles coming out. You have the cuss single that is on the way. This is your second cuss single, actually, because you
Correcto.
put one out for Correcta single.
And we have a third one coming out for Scream for Love.
Nice.
Very cool. We'll get you.
Yeah, so let's talk about this because radio listeners are going to hear it in the 9:39 local spotlight on Thursday. So let's talk about Scream for Love. So when was that written?
1985
Okay.
has to be, yeah. Because we played it at the state fair, guys, right? So
Yeah, it was
75.
funny. It was funny because our manager, Scene McFarland, had this brilliant idea. Howard Jones was playing at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, and it was during the state fair, the Arizona State Fair. So outside of the exit, there was this tiny little local band stage that he timed it. So Basic Elements played right when Howard Jones was letting out. So 1,000 people that look like us had to stop and check us out.
Nice. That's how you do
No, it
it.
was actually a great crowd. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the bandstand stage.
Nice. Nice.
That was fun.
I missed the fair
Wait.
of the 80s. Oh my
I
gosh.
know. Saw the Fix did a great state fair show, man. That was so good. Phantom
so
Tour.
many
So with this
pictures.
song though, with "Scream for Love," John added his own. We kind of added a whole new texture and a whole new part to it,
Oh,
which
yeah?
I think is great.
Tell
Yeah,
us,
And
tell us.
that wasn't there before.
That's
which is-
true.
Works
That's
really
true.
well. I love it.
And of all the songs that we translated into today, I mean, it was. I just started working with a little bit more of a beat, kind of syncing it up with the synth, which I just didn't really know how to do back then. And we have a video that we'll be posting. We can share it with you as well, which is, it's not quite a lyric video, but it's the studio version of the song, kind of synced up to us playing it at various places in the 80s in Phoenix as kids. But then there's a bridge in the middle of the song that is us playing it live with this new kind of update that John's talking about
Mhm.
from the show at the Mint in 2019.
Oh, nice.
And then
it's really fun live too. It's great.
yeah,
It's got a
and
lot
it
of energy.
bookends nicely at the end with the combo of both of them together.
Very cool.
And it's a trip to watch because the Mint it's a great club, but it's tight, and you see all these people together and they're dancing and you're like, oh wow, that. At the same time, it makes you want to go, makes you kind of ready to go do it
Really
again.
see a live show
Yeah,
as soon as
totally.
possible.
I am just chomping at the bit.
I think
to
I'm
go
ready.
out
I think I'm
and-
ready.
Oh
How about
my
you guys?
gosh, it has been
Just get me the Fauci and I'll be ready to go.
the Fauci. Yes, I will take the Fauci. Oh man, I can't wait to get out there and have everything opening. It's mostly, it's not just for wanting to be out there because it's been so long, but the venues are hurting and
Mhm.
and paid artists are hurting, and
Yeah.
it's
And then
it's a lot.
you realize how much music has so much to do with community. It really does. And I think when that comes back into play, it's going to be a really big deal. And I
It
think
will be.
it'll just kind of melt the harshness hopefully down a little bit and just kind of, okay, I just think it's a peacemaker, no
I think
doubt.
so.
Yeah, and there's so many jobs that you don't really think about that are hurting because of this whole COVID thing in the music industry itself. Like the person who sells the hot dogs, the person who sits in there at the door, the doorman, the bartender, whoever, all those jobs are kind of lost right now, and
Mhm.
it's sad. And with this whole COVID thing, there's a lot of artists that we might not ever get to see again. It's like it's like, hey, you know, Paul McCartney's going to do a tour, Elton John's doing a tour, and you know, this is the last time you get to see Paul Simon, and then I'll see it next year. I'll see it next year. I'll see it next year. He's going to be touring for 3 years, and all of a sudden, COVID happens, and we might not get a chance to see Elton John ever again. You know, we lost our window.
You know what the moral of the story is?
Also, the new guys on the road, the new guys on all these new bands that were just getting ready, that are just had a couple years of success, that are amazing, that are like, it's their turn. And it's like, oh no, pull the plug out. So it'll be good for them to get back and to show their stuff, I think.
Definitely. Have to give a shout out to the sound engineers too. The people behind the scenes at these venues as well. It's like, you know, everything just stopped, and I can't wait for that to pick up again, because I mean, between just myself alone and then with the backing of KWSS, I mean, I'm going to be this community's biggest cheerleader, just like, get out there, do it, which I don't think I'll have to try very hard to have happen, because
no, people are ready. I mean, you know, I think, you know, everyone's got to, you know, like, just, we're in the home stretch, but I think, you know, once it's time, people are going to be, after the plague came the Renaissance.
There we go.
So.
There we go. Well, I, for one, am definitely excited. So
John's quoting Camus over here.
Why not?
Oh man. So Scream for Love, it actually premieres, I'm going to say tomorrow, but it's also Friday. We're recording on a what's today? Today's Monday.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, Monday.
When I record for radio, I never know what day it is. So I have to make sure my listeners know that this is on a Monday. The single actually drops on Friday, but the radio listeners are going to get a sneak preview in the 9:39 local spotlight. So yay. And then the Friday replay. So you get to hear it twice.
Yay.
Which is awesome.
Excellent.
So then I'll send it to the weekend crowd, and Leisha Torres can play it on Valentine's Day Sunday.
Oh, Leisha will be your Valentine. That would be amazing. It's kind of funny.
Nice.
It's a song that's sort of a Valentine to love itself. You know what I mean? It's changed, like John said, it's changed a little. It's gone a little bit more global in this iteration, I think, in the ways that we wrote it before. We kind of upgraded the lyrics and the music, and it's fun. It's hopefully makes people happy.
It's almost like an environmental song, you know, give the world some attention.
It is, if you want to get all lyrical about it.
Yeah, and Sophia I mentioned that, and Sophia's kind of this kind of deity, this female deity that's always kind of, she's been throughout history, and there's a lot of
goddess of, she's the goddess of creativity, right? Is that
and wisdom and synergy and all those great things, and I think that's a good thing. So that's why that song, I think it's really works right now, I think.
Yeah, it's fun.
Very cool. Well, at this point, everyone who will be listening, we're going to play the 9:39 local spotlight right now, and you will get the radio preview of Basic Elements, Scream for Love. And if you want to see the entire conversation, this Zoom is going to be posted over on all the social media, and I'll send it to you to put on Basic Elements social media, and we'll just blast our faces all over the place.
That's good.
So
great job, great station.
Thank you. We are all volunteers, and we're a nonprofit, and we just, what keeps us going is just our love for music and community and supporting this community. So
you can hear it.
Yeah, you really can. Yeah,
thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate that. It's so funny when people thank me, and I'm just like, I'm just doing what I love to do.
Listen, you can. It's amazing knowing that you can live in Arizona and get Japan on the radio still.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Very true. Very true. So we definitely take pride in.
John's talking about Japan, the band, though.
Yes,
right?
I know. He put that on his. I don't know if you two listened to Jonathan's hour.
Oh yeah. He did that. David Sylvian. Yeah, I love it.
That was fun.
That was a good hour. That's when we put New You on. So.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yep, that's when it premiered. Now it's all coming back to me.
Yeah.
So what's coming up next? Let me ask you this: are you guys? Is anyone still living in Phoenix? Or are you all everywhere?
None of us. Bill and I are in LA.
Our parents are still in
Parents
Phoenix.
are there. Yeah, our parents in the same damn house. Dave, our guitar player's in San Diego, John's in Miami, right? So we're just all scattered about right now, like rehearsing for a show. Will be, we'd like to be able to jam in June or something, that would be cool. Yeah, so
I
we
think
can
it could happen.
get something
And there's
ready.
new stuff to come as well, new music, and and just so it's going to be, there's a lot of good things to look forward to, no doubt. No doubt.
We started dabbling and writing some new songs after the Mint show, and there's some good ideas there.
Do you think you'll stick with your 80s vibe, or you think you might feel like venturing out, or are you just going to see where the creativity takes you?
Like I said, I feel like I'm pretty rooted into what I know how to do. I'm always down to like adapt, or if somebody can but
I think it's actually, I think it is, from what I hear from it, it is 80s, but it's also, it's really, we're using new, instruments and new technology and new influences. So it's layered. It's that, but it's also what's happening now, and it's kind of sandwiched in there. And so it's really, it's going to be a surprise, but it's very high, it's high energy. It has the element, has the essence of the 80s, but it's like, it could be, you could turn it on and go, oh wow, that's a great song today. So I guess think so. That's just kind of my personal take.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Bill?
Oh, I was saying that all the keyboard parts, the new ones, are probably still played with one hand, right, John?
Oh, totally. No, you got to have the low one. You got to have at least one down low at all times, just to support it at least. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, like I said, John and Bill and I, we've been shooting like 2 or 3 ideas back and forth. I'm excited to just jam with the guys and see where it goes. I think it's going to sound consistent.
But the response that we've gotten just with releasing this is a great thing, because we release these things and then it opens the door for the next layer of things to happen, the next series of stuff. And so this is part of it, and this is that's
we still have 2 more tracks,
very positive,
to drop after this. We still have
nice.
So we have 2 more coming after Scream for Love. I think I just I've been releasing them pretty quickly, so I just think I need to take a break for a minute.
That's okay. You can. But, you're allowed.
Yeah, I gotta get back to work. But
well, you also have to remember that you want to keep it fun too. So don't give yourself that pressure of I have to get these out.
Well, the ultimate goal for us is to release these other 2 songs in the course of the year, and ultimately have like a vinyl press that would be all of the Bowler sessions. And then the B side would be all those, like your cassette that you have, your single. The B side would be all of our archival. And if we can get that pressed in time for, fall and any events that could be happening.
My hair just stood on end.
Yeah, let's do it, right?
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, that's amazing.
So there really is an element of surprise, because where this goes, there's an element of, we don't know. Like the new stuff, we have an idea, but it's in an exciting way where we're going to throw it out there. And I think that's the fun part, where we're going to see, but it's going to have that same feel and energy. And that's just that's the fun.
Yeah. Because if you put that vinyl out there, you got to play a show for it. So it's all just.
Yeah. Well,
and also with the new songs and the new versions, the old versions, like with the cassette, you have the boombox version that was recorded back in the day, and then you have Ed Bowler's produced one. You could listen to those and see what he added and what his techniques were, because you could see the raw one that we did, and then there's a bridge that was added. There's new lyrics that were added. In Scream for Love, they changed the lyric from "give the girl some attention" to "give the world some attention." So there's a lot of different tones, and you could kind of see the comparison, which is really neat.
Nice. Oh, that is so cool. And that would be really neat to see on a vinyl too, to have all the originals and then flip it and just have it all right there. Yeah. I'm now thinking of this beautiful white vinyl that I just procured from a certain Duran band, if you've heard of them.
Do you want to sneak of something, Dani? I'll see how good you are.
Oh no.
So you see this?
Don't test me. I'm not Jay.
This is the sneak of the cover for probably our last single. And it's an homage to another album's cover that you might find. I'll send you the art, but anyway. It's an homage to something that you may have recently
I
purchased.
really think you guys should do a cover photo and have it be like you now in 1985 like pirate garb. Do it.
I'm completely down.
Puffy sleeves, just do it.
Sure.
We'll have to steal that shirt from Melania.
Yeah. Send the crew and we'll do it.
Oh man, that would be amazing. Well, you guys, it's been a joy to chat with you.
Oh yeah,
as well.
I love it.
Definitely.
So good to finally meet you.
Yeah, and to get faces with the social media posts and everything. It's just been, Jay can't have all the fun talking to you guys. I had to get in there somehow.
Nice.
That's right. Jay's been amazing. Jay has been so incredibly supportive, and he always lets me know, if like he'll text me and be like, hey, I'm gonna give you a run. I mean, I'm find myself listening to KWSS honestly on the TuneIn app, on my own anyway, right? But just in case, like it's great to know, because then I'll just get to listen. And
that's really nice of him. I try, but I usually
feel free. You can hit me up anytime. I'm
mornings are rough, so I'm like barely getting my show done, and then I'm like, oh. What am I playing? I'm just grateful right now I got the home studio. I've always had the home studio. I like to say we were ahead of the game on recording and broadcasting from home, because that's all we've done since 2005. So
nice.
So we were preparing for this a long time, but I literally just come downstairs and start my show. It's wonderful.
That's awesome.
I would be terrible in a studio right now. You want me to get to work when? It's not happening. 5:55.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm so.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, everyone who's watching, you can find out more about Basic Elements on social media, and the website is
www.basicelementsmusic.com.
And everything is there.
Cross-platform. Yeah. From the website, you can find all our other good stuff.
Yep, including seeing all their. I'm sure you've got your YouTube link there, so people can go check out the videos. And
we have some fun archival, and even Arizona history buffs will get, like the Heidi Fogelsong clips. And
I'm so excited. I haven't looked at everything yet, so that is going to be my next time suck. So.
In the vortex.
Oh my gosh, it's so easy. But thank you guys for
being
here.
Thank you.
And
definitely, it was a blast.
Keep me posted on all of the new stuff coming.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.